Hola, chicas. Welcome to Mastering Midlife podcast, where we get real about the stuff that nobody told us about midlife. Today, we are going to talk about the number one hidden thing that is wreaking havoc with your hormones. It's inflaming your body, slowing down your metabolism, aging you faster, and totally messing with your brain. It is not sugar. It's not gluten. It's not carbs. God, it's not alcohol. It's not stress. It is, drumroll please, it is the seed oils. Oh my gosh. Now, this has been a thing for quite a while. This has been on my radar for a couple of years, and not because usually I'm on top of all of these things just because of the community that I hang out in. And nowadays it's easier because of the Make America Healthy Again Act and RFK and all the people that I've been following forever who are now part of that panel, the people who have been doing the research for the food babe, Gary Brecka, he's my mentor, I work with him. All these people, now they're being able to speak their truth in a way that the government is actually listening, not just on social media. So for me, I've been talking about this forever, and I've been researching it and living my life, really implementing what I've learned on a daily basis, because that's what it is. But the way that I learned about seed oils that really brought it into the forefront for me was through my kids, because my kids hit a certain age when they became obsessed about health and food and nutrition and all that. And this is one of the biggest things that came up for them in the research that they've done. So I actually learned from them. I always say that my kids are my best teachers, for sure. They have taught me the most so far in my life, and I love learning from them. So the seed oils are like the so-called, healthy fats, healthy oils. They're canola oil, soybean, sunflower. These are the oils that they're pushed as like wellness staples, but they're actually highly inflammatory, and they're industrial byproducts. They are so horrible. So let me just explain it all. If you maybe have like hot flashes, foggy brain, puffy face, that belly fat that just won't go away, joint pain, anxiety, or, just that low key underlying, I don't feel right in my body anymore. That feeling where I don't know what it is, but I'm just not 100%, then this one is for you, because seed oils might just be the villain in your midlife story. So what exactly are seed oils? Now, these are highly processed vegetable oils. They're labeled as vegetable oils, which is very misleading because they are not made from vegetables at all. But they are made from cheap, subsidized crops that, of course, why is anything made? Because it's super cheap, because somebody's making money off of it, because they'll make money off of you when you get sick from eating it, because you get addicted to it. But these crops are cheap, they're subsidized, and so it makes this for a super good way to make money for a whole bunch of people while you get sick. So the crops are canola, which is also known as rapeseed oil, soybeans, corn, sunflower, safflower, cotton seeds, and grapeseed. These seed oils or vegetable oils are in almost everything that comes in a package. If it's in a wrapper or a bottle or a package, and I mean everything. So protein bars that say organic on the front, there's seed oil in them. Keto-friendly nut butters, they're usually full of canola oil. When you go to a restaurant and have restaurant food, even the healthy chains, you guessed it, seed oils in the dressings and the marinades, or that's what they use for frying oil. So your heart healthy mayo, that is like straight up canola bomb. Unless you get the avocado, the one made with avocado oil, which is more expensive. But hey, listen, when you pay more for you're going to pay for your health one way or another. So if you pay up front and pay a little more and get the healthy food, you're going to be winning, because if you don't do that, you're going to pay with your health at the end. And I heard this expression and I just totally love it, which is, when you're healthy, you've got 100 problems. But when you're unhealthy, when you're sick, you only have one problem, and that's your health. The world stops. That's how important your health is. When your health is off, you have no other problems. That's the only problem you need to solve for. So the seed oil or seed oils are like a metabolic napalm. Like, they literally light your insides on fire with inflammation, and your body can't put it out because the damage is just so insidious and constant. It just can't keep up with it. And let's talk about how these are made. Because if you knew this, you would never willingly eat them again. I really I'm willing to bet on this here, if you knew how they're made. So let's just talk about this. Most seed oils are extracted using a process so toxic that Health Canada or the FDA would not allow you to make them at your home without violating hazardous waste codes. I am not kidding. Here's the breakdown. Okay, so first of all, you got to get a super high heat. So the seeds are blasted with this intense heat to extract the oil. And this immediately oxidizes the fats, meaning they go rancid before they even hit the bottle. And then they use a hexane solvent extraction. So the mushy mess is treated with a hexane, which is a neurotoxic chemical solvent derived from petroleum. And that pulls out more oil. And then this residue often remains in trace amounts, the hexane. And guess what? Hexane exposure is linked to neurological damage. Then they do the degumming and the neutralization. So this step involves more chemical washes to remove the gums and the waxes and the free fatty acids. We're talking about chemical washes here. This is food we're talking about. And then they strip everything that's even remotely natural from the oil. And then after that, they have to bleach it, because by now it's like cloudy brown sludge. So they use bleaching clays and acids to make it look all pretty clean, like a nice golden oil. And then the final step, because it's rancid, overheated sludge and it stinks, it gets vaporized at even higher temperatures to kill the stench. And at this point, we're pushing temperatures so high that trans fats, the ones banned in many countries, begin to form. So doesn't that sound appetizing? So what you're left with is a highly unstable, pro-inflammatory, cell-damaging, nutrient-dead oil. And this garbage is sold to you as heart healthy. Let that sink in. Like, they're trying to market this as this is good for your heart. And as the food babe says, if you can't make it in your kitchen, your body has no idea what to do with it. It's inorganic. When it comes to fats, yes, we need fats, but we need fats in their natural form. And because fats oxidize so fast, it's really hard to process a fat and to keep it in its full integrity so that it can do what it's designed to do in your body. That's one of the reasons why we have all of these health issues, is because we think we're eating, like, we need fats, and we think we're eating healthy fats, but we're not. We're eating this kind of junk, which is, it does the opposite. It doesn't do your body any good. It's making you sick, basically. So our key is to eat fats, whole clean fats that are processed as little as possible. And like the food babe says, hey, if it's a food, how do we get it from a food? Well, we have our nuts. They have healthy fats. We have our avocados. Avocados are just so good for you. And when it's in a whole food form, you can't go wrong because the fats haven't oxidized and they haven't been, all the health benefits been killed off by the intense heat or all the chemicals they put in it. So now that we know how this is made, and hopefully you're horrified by now, but let me just share with you what these oils do inside your body. So when this poison, and I think of it as poison, just like sugar, I think of sugar as poison. When this poison hits your system, especially if you're a woman in midlife who already has a lot going on, then there is an inflammation explosion. Seed oils, they're super high in omega-3s, omega-6s. And omega-6s are good because we need them, but this is the kind of the omega-6s, they drive chronic inflammation, especially when they're not balanced with omega-3s. There's 3, 6, and 9s, and 3 and 6s need a certain balance to go together. And we get a lot of 6s in our foods, but we get minimal 3 in our food. So basically, we're always out of balance with our ratio for our 3s and our 6s. And guess what? Estrogen helps to regulate inflammation. So when estrogen drops in perimenopause and menopause, your body gets stuck in this inflammatory loop. And then when you add seed oils, it just keeps pouring gasoline on the fire. It's just so intense. Your body can't possibly keep up with this because your body is designed to deal with the inflammation that it naturally gets from menopause and perimenopause. But remember, it's not designed for all of these inorganic compounds that are adding inflammation to it. It doesn't know what to do with it. So because of that, you might feel achy, or maybe you're feeling puffy or foggy. You got moodiness going on, definitely bloated, unmotivated, sluggish, and you wonder why nothing, like not the workouts, not the salads, not the water, not the intermittent fasting, nothing is helping. These oils actually cross the brain barrier, the blood-brain barrier border, and they interfere with your neurotransmitters. And then when that happens, that alters your dopamine and your serotonin levels, right? Those are all your feel-good hormones. So no, you're not losing your mind, but your brain is literally under a chemical siege or chemical stress. And it's so fascinating because now your body is trying to deal with the regular hormone imbalances from menopause, and then this continual onslaught of the inflammation from all of these seed oils. So my mentor, Gary Brecka, talks about how every cell in your body has a membrane made from fat. And when you eat good fats, your cells, they stay fluid and they function beautifully. But the seed oils, they become part of your cellular membrane and then they stiffen it. And what that means is your hormones can't dock properly. Insulin can't signal efficiently. Your mitochondria, like the powerhouses of the cell, the energy factories, they get sluggish. Oh, that makes sense now. Why don't I have the energy that I used to? Your cells become like a gunked up machine. Just think about that, gunked up machine. Think about how I describe the process of making these oils. That's what's going into your cells. That's what your cells are being created from. That's what's happening to your cells. And the result of all this, you guessed it, weight gain, low energy, slow metabolism. It's the exact opposite of what you need in midlife when you're going through menopause and perimenopause. So the $1 million question is, what can you do instead? Like, what's the answer here? Well, here's the good news. You have options. You always have options. Our lives are just a summary of all the choices that we've made. And so if we're not liking our life, if we don't like our results, we get to make different choices. So that's the good news. So you can swap the seed oils for these healthy, anti-inflammatory, midlife friendly fats. Like fats, good, clean, healthy fats are our friends. We need fats. Our brain is made up of fats. Like we need fats. Our body definitely needs fats. So we want to find the healthiest, cleanest fats that we can get. Extra virgin olive oil. You want like cold pressed, because when they cold press, and organic. So cold pressed, organic, extra virgin olive oil, because then they are not heating it and oxidizing it and killing all of the healing properties. Oil isn't meant to be heated like that. Coconut oil, same thing. You want cold, organic, cold press, like all of the minimalistic ways of processing. So the more natural the oil is, the better it is for you. Grass-fed butter or ghee. Avocado oil is good for high heat, but you only want it to be cold pressed, because when any kind of oil gets around the heat, it goes rancid or it turns into a carcinogen. Like when you're cooking with oil and then you start to see that it's smoking, now it's a carcinogen. So it's gone from something healthy into something that is harmful. And then you want that wild caught omega-3s from sardines and salmon and anchovies. And there has been talk recently of a new omega-3 that's been found, and it's the first like amino acid the first essential amino acid that's been discovered in a very, very, very long time, and it's called C15. So I'm doing more research on that, but that is a form of omega-3s as well. So you also want to look for no seed oils on the food labels. So because this is being brought into the awareness and the work that all the people are doing in the Make America Healthy Again movement, is that they're going to start having to label this, because when consumers find out how bad these things are, guess what happens? The people that make it will start to change, and then they won't use them, and then they'll put the labels on. They'll say, hey, we're healthy because we have no seed oils. So the industry, if they start to lose money, guess what they'll do? They'll pivot and they'll do what we want. They will make healthier options. So we do have lots of choices. So the bottom line is your body is begging for better. If there's one thing I want you to take from today's episode, it's this. You don't have to diet harder. You don't need to do more cardio. You don't need to starve yourself or go keto or intermittent fast your way into the ground. No. You want to stop fueling your inflammation fire with the chemical fats. This one shift, just ditching seed oils, it is so powerful, and it can help you to reduce inflammation, balance your hormones more naturally. Remember what I said, when you go into menopause and perimenopause, you want to try to do that as naturally as possible and allow your body to do the process that it's meant to do. You support your metabolism. You'll improve your mental clarity, because who doesn't have brain fog in midlife? Like sometimes we think that we are losing it, but your mental clarity is going to improve. You're going to restore your cellular health, and this is where your energy comes from. And then you're going to start to feel like you again. So it's not just what you cut out, it's about what you give your body to rebuild itself, where you get your power from, where you get your energy from. Your body is designed to go through menopause for a reason. Nature created this for a reason. So you don't want to stop menopause. You want to create the ideal environment in your body called homeostasis, which is perfectly balanced, so that your body can go through menopause gracefully, peacefully, quickly. That's the key part. So let's start there. Read your labels, ask your restaurants, be that woman who says, what oil did you cook with? And mean it. You're not being picky, you're being powerful, because every bite matters. It truly, truly does. All right, my midlife rebels, that's it for today's episode. If this blew your mind even a little bit, or freaked you out, or you're like, wow, I didn't know that, then please share it with a friend or a sister or anyone who's been feeling off and doesn't know why. Let's get the truth out there and take back our health, one real healthy fat at a time. Until next time, ditch the canola, eat the butter, and love your cells like your life depends on it, because it kind of does. Thank you for listening. Always, always, always love yourself first, and have an amazing day.